Before Stanley Kubrick became one of the most acclaimed and popular directors of all time, he was just another Hollywood director. One who had made three feature films, one poor, one mediocre, and one quite good. Although he showed a natural cinematic eye and dark sensibility, there are many filmmakers making more impressive work. But in 1957, Kubrick would finally set himself apart from the crowd by making one of the most scathing and bleak anti-war films ever made. Paths of Glory is about more than the horror of war, but about man's inhumanity to their fellow man, the callous disregard demonstrated by military leadership when advancement is at stake, the treachery of soldiers between themselves when their lives are on the line, and the robotic functioning of a military bureaucracy that disregards morality in favor of decorum. A brief synopsis of the film. In the midst of the First World War, French General Moreau is offered advancement if he commits to a suicide charge against a well-defended German position. He orders the men under Colonel Dax's command to carry out the attack. During the charge, the second wave refuses to leave the trenches after the first fails to reach the position. Moreau, enraged by what he thinks of as cowardice, wants to court-martial 100 soldiers for the incident. He is talked down to selecting only 3 random soldiers who will be defended in a trial by Colonel Dax himself. The defense fails and the men are executed. While the whole film is worth studying, I'm only going to take a look at the final scene. After the execution, a defeated Dax is walking past a cafe when he hears soldiers booing and whistling. He observes as a man riles up the soldiers, preparing them for the upcoming entertainment. A German girl who has ended up in the hands of the French. They cheer and jeer as Dax looks on in disgust. The man mocks her to the delight of the audience before extolling her singing abilities. We see this woman humiliated for the delight of the soldiers, seemingly one more example of wartime cruelty. Then they quiet down and listen to her song. The mood of the room quickly changes from mocking to serious.
Herzliebchen im Sterben lag, da ließ all sein Hab und Gut und eilte seinem
The soldiers are enraptured by the music. Soon they join in, humming the tune along with her.
Und eilte seinem Herzliebchen zu. Ach bitte, Mutter, bring ein Licht, mein Liebchen stirbt, ich seh es nicht. Das war fürwahr ein treuer Husar, der liebt sein Mädchen ein ganzes Jahr. Das war fürwahr ein treuer Husar, der liebt sein Mädchen ein ganzes Jahr.
A simple display of beauty, one so rare in a brutal wartime atmosphere, has moved the men to tears.
Ein ganzes Jahr, ein ganzes Jahr. Die Liebe nahm kein Ende mehr. Ein ganzes Jahr, noch viel mehr. Die Liebe nahm kein Ende mehr. Und als man die Botschaft braucht, dass sein Herzliebchen im Sterben lag, da ließ all sein Hab und
As Dax watches, another soldier comes to say that these men are expected back at the front immediately. A few minutes reprieve is all Dax can give them. It's such a small moment when compared to the weight and scale of the suffering shown previously. But in the midst of these circumstances, Colonel Dax, and by extension us, are shown that human dignity can be reclaimed from even the lowest states, even if it's just for a few minutes.